Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad that y'all could come to this presentation to learn about this amazing cruise to the Arctic Circle. I'm Suzanne and I own my own travel agency franchise located in Show Low, Arizona. So first, I want to tell you a little bit about me because if you've just learned about me from social media or through a friend, I want everybody to feel really comfortable having their precious vacations entrusted in me. So I want to tell you a little bit about my agency. Also, if you want to talk more about what's in the presentation or more about my agency afterwards, I'm more than happy to do a consultation with you. And I really want you to have that comfort level in working with me. So this is my 10th year in business. In 2019, I was very honored to receive our organization's Opal Award, which is for outstanding sales and community service. And in 2020 and 2021, we all had a lot of downtime. So I used my downtime to earn my Master Cruise Counselor certification. And in 2022, I'm in the top 2% of CruiseOne and Dream Vacation franchises nationwide, and we have about 1,500 franchises nationwide. My business. What? I'm sorry?
1,612.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. My business model is very customer focused. I really try to provide exceptional service in all vacation planning needs. I have been cruising for 45 years. This is actually, it's more than that. I think it's like 47 years now, if I'm doing the math right. This is a 3-day Bahama cruise I took in 1975 when I was just 8 years old. My dad was in sales, and if he had a really good year, he'd take the whole family on a cruise. And I think I look really awesome rocking that plaid pantsuit. I kind of look like Donny Osmond, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of funny. All right, moving on. So Steve and I have continued to cruise. We have been on 10 cruises since August of last year. We are so thrilled that travel opened back up. We had a lot of lost time to make up for. So we're cruising again next month. We're doing another voyage that goes to Iceland and Greenland on Holland America. My business is kind of split 50% between groups and 50% between individual bookings. I usually do 2 to 4 large groups a year. And many of my clients will start out with me as part of a group, and then they'll stay with me because of the exceptional service I provide. Groups are fun, but I always tell people that you can do as much or as little with a group as you want. Steve, can you see if you can get Odin to stop barking? And I like traveling with groups because it gives me a chance to get to know my clients.
I've never heard of Silver Sea.
I want you to know that I work on behalf of my clients. I have lots of training and experience. That Master Cruise Counselor was a huge training program that's sponsored by our Cruise Line International Association. And I have cruises to fit every style and budget, all the way from Carnival, all the way up to Regent or Silver Sea, which Silver Sea is a really top of the line luxury line. They're fabulous cruise line. The best kept secret in travel is that you will have the same or better pricing through a travel agent as you would if you book directly with a cruise line. The commissions that we earn are built into the price, whether you book with us and have all that training and professionalism and experience, or you just book at an online call center where the person might have started last week, or you're booking online at the cruise line's website. You're paying for my services, and you're not getting them if you're booking through another booking channel. I'm very easy to access. Anybody who's tried to deal with anybody right now knows that hold times can be 1 to 2 to 3 hours. You call me, you ask me what you need, I do the whole time for you, and then I get everything resolved and get back to you. So it really makes things really streamlined and seamless for my clients. And best of all, I work for you, my clients, and I get paid by the cruise lines. So now let's talk about the cruise, because that's what everybody came here to learn about, is the spectacular itinerary. And I have to say, I'm excited about the cruise we're doing next month. But this one has got me even more excited, and I'm sure as we go through the slides, you'll see why. So if you take a look at the voyage, we're actually going to go up to one of the northernmost parts of the world. We'll visit several places in Iceland, and then we also visit the British Isles. So that's pretty exciting. This would be clicking and it doesn't go. So why this cruise? This cruise is going to take us to some of the most remote, least visited places on Earth, and we will see spectacular scenery. I mean, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And we'll visit some of the most iconic tourist places in both Iceland and the British Isles. So it's kind of the best of the both worlds. You get that almost expedition-like cruise experience going up to the Arctic Circle, but then you also get to visit these beautiful places in Iceland and the British Isles. I like to work with Holland America. This is a really good opportunity to do this type of cruise with them because they're expedition cruise companies that do these types of cruise at 3 to 4 times the price. And with a mid-sized ship, you get all of the entertainment and food and variety of what am I trying to say? That you would get on any Holland America cruise. I mean, but you have it paired with this exotic destination. Again, Holland America has great entertainment, amazing service, great food, and I kind of alluded this before. The ship is big enough to offer a variety of dining options, entertainment options, but small enough to still feel intimate. So let's dive into the itinerary a little bit more. You can see the full itinerary here. You'll see that it's spaced out nicely between port days, scenic sailing days, because a lot of these days are scenic sailing where you're going actually into these fjords. Some other cruises, like we just did a 7-day Norwegian fjords, the only fjords we sailed were the ones that had a port that we're visiting at the end of them. This gives you an opportunity to see some fjords just from the balcony of your ship. Also goes up to that really far north island, furthest northern inhabited part of the world. And then iconic stops in 3 ports in Iceland. And there's 3 ports at the end in the British Isles, but we start the cruise with a visit to Dover. So the cruise embarks in Rotterdam, Netherlands. And this is kind of exciting because there is a museum there that is the Rotterdam cruise ship. That is actually the cruise ship that my husband and I took our honeymoon on. So I keep telling him, honey, if we're gonna go and do a hotel stay a couple nights in Rotterdam, we need to stay on the ship that we did our honeymoon. So it's a hotel and museum type thing, like the Queen Mary is in Long Beach. But there's lots of stuff to see in Rotterdam. And if you want to have more of that Dutch windmill experience, there's some tours that you can take that would take you outside of town to go see those kinds of things. Again, Rotterdam is a beautiful modern city. It has this wonderful Erasmus Bridge. I recommend that you come in at least 1 and maybe 2 or 3 nights prior to your cruise. 1 night is going to give you a chance to get caught up on your jet lag and give you a little bit of a buffer should there be any issues or problems with your flights or your luggage. 2 nights is going to give you even more of a buffer for that.
Yeah, a chance to do something in Rotterdam.
Yeah, and it's a lovely city. So let's see, click. So there's lots of ports of call. We saw it on that itinerary that I showed just a few minutes ago. My advice is when you do a cruise that's this long and this extensive, that you pick and choose where you want to visit the ports of call and take an all-day excursion. And some days you might just want to get off and walk around. So Dover is our first port of call. You can explore Dover itself. There's plenty to see there. And of course, what's Dover famous for? The White Cliffs. But you can also take a full day tour to London. So if you've never been to London, that might be a great opportunity to see it. Just at least dip your toe in the water and see what London is like.
Yeah.
You can also venture a little further afield and you'll see Leeds or Canterbury. So the next day we have a scenic sailing opportunity. So we'll sail in these fjord names are Hardanger Fjord. Let's see. Okay, that sounds right. Hardanger Fjord. So this is a full day of scenic sailing in this fjord. You get to enjoy the beauty of this area right from the deck of your cruise ship. Next place we're going to visit is Bergen. This is one of my favorite cities in Norway. This is actually a picture that I took myself just a few weeks ago in May. The nice thing I like about it, and I'll just point it out here, is that the cruise ship docks here. It's a pretty small city. You can actually walk over here, and this is where some of this little bay here is where some of the most famous sites are. At the base down here is where you can buy the tickets to the funicular that takes you up to the top of this hill, and you get this, you're treated to this spectacular view. There's also some hiking trails and things like that. So you can have both a city experience and see a little bit of like the mountainside, the countryside. One of the most famous sites in Bergen is the Hanseatic Wharf, which is right here. These are buildings that date back to the Middle Ages, when the traders from Germany would travel to Norway, and they would exchange goods that were grown from continent, more southern part of Europe. They would exchange them for the salted cod, which was like gold for the Norwegians. It could be preserved with salt, and then everybody it'd be shipped all over the world for people to use as a staple in cooking. Again, we took the funicular up to the top of the mountain, but also there's some tours that go outside of town, and you can see some things like waterfalls, the countryside, this beautiful Norwegian style church. There's also a brewery. The brewery is located right here if anybody's interested. For our cruise that we went on, they're normally closed on Mondays, but we had enough people that were interested in doing a tasting, and they sent someone to open the brewery just for our group to do a beer tasting at their brewery. There's a fish market there as well. Lots of cute little gift shops, great little town. So the next place we visit is Mold, and it's home to the beautiful Atlantic Road, which is one of the most amazing roads. A couple of things to see on this would be that you can do the Atlantic Drive. That can be done either as a tour on a coach bus, or you could rent a car in town and drive it yourself. There's also some opportunities to do hiking. There's a museum in town, plenty of things to do. So we leave Mold and we have a couple days at sea, and then we arrive at Longyearbyen. Longyearbyen is the northernmost city in the world. An interesting fact, it is illegal to die or give birth there. Well, kind of not really, but you cannot, the dead can't be buried there because the ground stays too cold and the bodies don't decompose. So when people are near death, they ship them back to the mainland to die and be buried there. And the same thing with giving birth. There's not enough hospital facilities and the infrastructure to take care of a newborn infant. So I suppose when women are a certain amount pregnant, they go back to the mainland before they have their child. But the temperatures are going to be actually pretty nice when we're there. They should be between 35 and 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's cold, but for those of us that live in the mountains in Arizona, that's not any colder than a typical winter day. So we'll need to, you don't need a parka. You need a coat and gloves and scarves and maybe a little hat.
If you've heard of Svalbard, that's the archipelago that Longyearbyen is in. So it is well within the Arctic Circle.
Yeah. So lots of things to do in this area. There's a fjord safari that you can take. You can go look for animals. I mean, they're going to be like whales and walruses and all these incredible Arctic animals. King crab is also a very, very popular dish. It was actually, we learned about this in Norway. King crab was actually introduced to the North Atlantic because it's native to the Bering Sea. It was introduced by the Russians in the 1970s as a food source. So it is considered what's the right word for it? An invasive species, but people also love to eat it. So they don't want to get so many of them that they're gone, that they don't come back, but they also want to get enough that they can eat it. So crab feast is something you can do. The town you can explore on your own, but do not go outside of town on your own. You are required to bring a rifle with you if you go outside of town, like hiking up in the mountains, because of the polar bears. But there's other opportunities.
In June, so yeah.
Yep. So the next day might be our best chance to see polar bears, because this is when we cruise the I can't say these fjord names. Leif Fjord. So we get a chance to do the scenic Arctic cruising, and the polar bears are sometimes just running around on this ice. So that might be a chance to see them. The experience of sailing in this remote wilderness, the comparison that I can make is in 2020, we took a cruise that had scenic sailing in Antarctica. And our day that we arrived there, and we were in this beautiful, pristine wilderness and surrounded on all sides of the ship by these mountains that were covered with glaciers. And it was so quiet. I mean, that was what was so beautiful about it, is it was just so peaceful and serene when we were there. It was really a beautiful day. And I'm so excited to be able to do this in the Arctic, as well as having done it in the Antarctic. I can't describe what it's like to be on a beautiful cruise ship and have the scenery all around. It sort of just takes your breath away.
The ship will get as close to the polar ice cap as it can, and it changes every year based on the flows, but it will be tremendous.
Yeah, just some more. There's lots of birds also in the Arctic during this time of year. So if you're a birder or like to watch wildlife, that's something else that you can see on a cruise like this. So the cruise will visit this little tiny port of Ny-Ålesund. Ny-Ålesund is an Arctic research station. It's inhabited by scientists from all over the world that winter here to do this Arctic research. It used to be a coal mining town, but it has a very sparse population. I think our day when we're there, we're going to get off, have a little guided walk around town, and that's going to be it, because we get back on the ship and the afternoon we do some more of that scenic sailing. But here's just, some other pictures: reindeer, wildlife. It's like a place that so few people have ever visited. It's very exciting. So that afternoon we'll have a little bit more of time to cruise these fjords. You'll get up close, see things like glaciers and these beautiful mountains and the peaceful wilderness. It's going to be amazing. So we go from this northern part of the Spitsbergen Svalbard Island. We have a couple days at sea, and then we arrive in Iceland. And our first introduction to Iceland is going to be I practice saying this, Eyjafjörður. It's the approach to Akureyri. Now, we did this in 2019. We were in May, so it was a little bit earlier in the year. But we actually had snow as we were approaching here. We had 4 inches of snow, and some of the crew members were from like the Philippines or Indonesia. They had never seen snow, so they were all running out on the decks taking pictures. It was exciting. It was a little nerve-wracking. I was like, we have the full tour of Akureyri. Are we going to be able to do it in the snow? Well, I have to tell you, yes, everything goes, even if there's snow in Akureyri, because they have snow year round. They're used to it. They're prepared for the snow. Akureyri is the northern capital of Iceland. And if you have never been here before, you absolutely need to take a tour that goes out in the countryside where you see this spectacular waterfall. And in this picture, I don't have a human body for reference, but it is it's a pretty big waterfall. There, I think the next picture you can get an idea of the scale. Yeah, you can see the people up front there. So it's a pretty big horseshoe-shaped waterfall. It's called Godafoss. That waterfall is called Godafoss because legend has it that when the Icelanders converted from paganism to Christianity, the king, the tribal leader, took all the pagan statues and threw them into this river, and they went over the waterfall. So that's why they call it Godafoss. Some say that legend is apocryphal, but you know, it's a good story to tell. If you look at the picture on the left-hand side, this one here, that was taken during our tour of Akureyri. And that area is called Dimmenberger. And it has all these incredible lava flow and formations. And I think they said that this formation here was the inspiration for the Eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Our tour guide told us that at Christmas time, this whole area is covered with lights. And as you can imagine, at Christmas time in this part of Iceland, it's dark. There's no daylight. But all day long, they bring the kids out to this area, and they have these character actors that portray the 12 Yule lads, which are kind of like naughty Santa's helpers. And the kids come out here every year, and they have the same actors playing the same character. They're like the Seven Dwarves a little bit, in that each character has their own particular personality and characteristics, and they have the same act. So it's a wonderful place for the kids at Christmas time. Also, the Miviton bath, nature baths, it's less crowded and then the more famous Blue Lagoon. So if you want to have a more authentic Icelandic thermal bath experience, this would be a great place to go. And you can sometimes do a tour that combines all of these things in one tour. From there, we will go sail overnight and we'll cruise into Ísafjörður. And Ísafjörður is the approach to the town of Ísafjörður. So this picture is taken in the little town. The current population of this town is only around 3,000 people. I think we'll have 2,000 on our boat, so we'll almost double the population when our cruise ship arrives. It's beautiful location. There's lots of things to do here. You can do whale watching tours. If you are a birder, again, you can go see puffins. If you're interested in the Arctic fox, there's a research center and museum that's dedicated just to them. Folk music. There's active things to do like kayaking and bicycling. And if you're into history, you can go to an old Viking village that has like an interactive Viking museum there. Next, we'll go visit the capital of Iceland, which is Reykjavik, and I can actually pronounce Reykjavik. So I'm very excited to be able to pronounce that. Now, Reykjavik is the true capital of Iceland. The real sights to be seen are really just outside of town. So these are actually some pictures from, let's switch over to it, from our visit in 2019. They look like they might be stock photos, but these are actually ones I took in 2019. The Godafoss waterfall, which is the one that's behind me in my video. Now I'm going to point this out to you for scale. These are people.
That's Godafoss.
That's a Godafoss. Yes, you're right. That's Godafoss. I misspoke. It's a golden waterfall. The legend has it on this waterfall that they were going to put in a hydroelectric power station here and dam this up, and it was going to take away the waterfall. And the daughter of the farmer that owned the land here threatened to throw herself over the falls unless they rescinded that plan and kept them open as beautiful falls. And I think because it's such a beautiful tourist attraction, they're probably making more money off the tourists than they would have off the hydroelectric plant. In the town of Reykjavik, they have a wonderful sculpture walk. And this sculpture actually marks the spot where the Nordic travelers were coming from Norway to Iceland, and they were trying to decide where they were going to build their village. And they threw like logs or part of the ship mass over the ship, and wherever they washed up, that was where they were going to build their city. So that's what this sculpture is for. And then over here we have the geyser. The geyser, the Stoker geyser, is one of the most reliable in the world. It goes off about every 10 minutes. I think we saw in our visit, we saw it go off 4 or 5 times. So amazing sights. That was just, it was, these are the things outside of Reykjavik that I think are absolute must do. The tour that goes out to see the falls and the geyser usually also visits the Thingvellir National Park. And this is the part where not only are the 2 tectonic plates of Europe and North America meeting here and splitting apart, creating this really exotic volcanic landscape, but it's also a place of history because it's where the Nordic tribes first gathered together to form their first national government of Iceland. This is the cathedral that's built in this modern Icelandic style. It's supposed to mimic the volcanic landscape. And then the Blue Lagoon, okay, I have to say, it's overpriced and touristy, but it was worth every penny. So I loved going to the Blue Lagoon. We only had about an hour in the baths, but it was a fabulous experience, and it's really beautiful.
We overnight in Reykjavik, so you have lots of time to do all these different wonderful excursions.
Yeah, exactly. You can do more than one excursion in Reykjavik. So Kirkwall, Scotland, it's on the Orkney Islands. So if you're trying to check off unique locations, Orkney Islands are listed in the Century Club list as a unique location, so that you get another check on your thing. It's has a lot of kind of old ancient Celtic and Nordic stuff in it. There's a distillery there if you like Scotch, and there's even this beautiful chapel that's on a naval base that was hand painted in the Italian style. So there's some interesting things there. We go to South Queensferry, which is a gateway to Edinburgh and St. Andrews. So a couple things you can do. You can go to Edinburgh and you can go visit the famous castle there and the Royal Mile. If you are into golf, you might want to go visit St. Andrews. And then you can also visit some of the beautiful countryside there. From there, the ship will head over to Invergordon. And this, of course, is the gateway to Inverness. And what's the most popular thing in Inverness? The Loch Ness. So if you want to go look for the Loch Ness Monster, this is your opportunity to do that. There's some beautiful Scottish Highlands there. I think I'm going to have to watch which Skyfall, I think, is the James Bond movie where they go to Scotland and they're out in this remote castle. And I remember seeing how beautiful that was and getting really excited about it. So the ship is, I looked up how to pronounce the name of the ship. I found 3 different pronunciations. One was Duurdam, Waiterdam, and Weiterdam. So pronounce it how I think I'm going to pronounce it Weiterdam. That looks like how I would pronounce it, Weiterdam. But found these 3 pronunciations in 3 different places. So maybe Amanda can tell us how they say it at Holland America now that she's here. So like I said before, the ship is not too big and just small and not too small. It's like the Goldilocks ship. With only less than 2,000 passengers and 842 crew. That's almost 1 crew member for every 2 passengers. And it still has a lot of variety, but again, it's not going to feel overwhelming like a mega ship would. Included dining venues include the casual and more formal dining in the main dining room. You can order room service every day. I love the Lido Market because it's not like an old-fashioned buffet where you're just shoveling stuff on your plate. You go to stations and everything is made for you in those stations a la minute, like your pasta dish, and then plated for you and handed to you. So it's more of a quick service dining rather than, kind of like a just shovel food buffet. It makes it a little bit more elevated, and the food hasn't been sitting out. They're making it all a minute. The ship also has 2 specialty dining venues. So these are dining venues that are at a little bit of an extra cost, but there's a way that you can get this included. So I want to mention that as well. But here's some pictures from our most recent cruise on Holland America for the main dining room. I had everything from ceviche, lasagna, what is that called? Gordon Ramsay makes that. This one is called beef Wellington. Steve had a really nice pork chop. The main dining on Holland America is really lovely, and we were so impressed with the service and how gracious everyone was to us. Now, we did do 1 night of specialty dining on our most recent Holland America cruise, and I don't know whether I like the steak or the curtain of bacon better, but both were very delicious, and the seafood bisque was also excellent as well, and dessert was pretty good. I ate all that, and then I said, "Oh, I'm going to be good and have fresh berries for dessert instead of Steve had the souffle, which I'm sure was better than the fresh berries. Entertainment. So again, I absolutely love the entertainment and the concept on Holland America. They really have stepped it up because one thing that they're doing now is they are contracting with world-class entertainment icons to make their entertainment for their ships. So just to give you an example, they have the world stage where they do something called BBC in Concert, which is the BBC nature videos with live music. They also have a variety of entertainers that come and play on that world stage. The Lincoln Center stage, classical music curated by the Lincoln Center. So these are artists that are part of the Lincoln Center, I don't know what's the right word, contractors, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. They have the Rolling Stone Rock Room, which is a 5-piece band that plays the greatest rock and roll hits of the 20th century. Billboard on board, they take a theme every night. Okay, tonight's Elton John night. We're playing all Elton John songs. And the B.B. King Blues Club. This is probably my husband's favorite venue because they had this wonderful blues band and these wonderful singers. And I have a little bit of highlights of those, but first I want to show you the kind of the layout on the ship. And I know this is hard to read, but the world stage is here. The billboard, this is where the dueling pianos are, is here. The casino is here, if that's your thing, not really mine, but a lot of people love to do that. Then we've got the Blues Club here, and then the Lincoln Center stage. But Lincoln Center will perform some nights in the main theater. I mean, there's some moving around, but in your daily guide will kind of show you what everything is. But I want to show you some of the performers from the B.B. King stage, just to give you an idea of what to expect. These are blues performers that perform in his land-based clubs all over the country. And then they come on these ships for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and they kind of rotate in and out, and they perform live music. And here's one of the first things. What I like about the B.B. King Blues Band is not only they have great singers, but they've got great musicianship. And that guy's just so cool and laid back. And then all of a sudden he plays into that guitar, and it just, it's just great. And here's another and he was singing falsetto. Most of the time he did not sing that high, but obviously that song is a falsetto song. So next I have a little clip of the performers on the Lincoln Center stage. Okay, I got a little carried away with that. Deep Blue is one of my favorite classical pieces, so I just like, oh, I have to keep watching it. I love seeing that.
Brings a Wile E. Coyote on the Roadrunner.
Where?
Well, the music was playing.
No, that's not Wile E. Coyote. That's no. I don't think they were in Repstein Blue. There was a Disney, the Fantasia 2000 had Repstein Blue in it. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. Okay. All right. So what is included with your cruise fare? So somebody posted on Facebook in my ad or comments. They said, "Are some meals included?" I was like, all your meals are included. The fine dining and the main dining, as well as your casual dining in the Lido or the Lido Marketplace or the dive in. There's a wonderfully stocked gym. So a cruise is mostly inclusive. But there's a few things that can be extra, but there's a way that you can include those things too. So I'll talk about that in a second. So these are obviously things that would be in addition to the price of your cruise. Your gratuities for your crew are going to be $15.50 per person per day for a standard cabin, and then $17 for the suites. Obviously, if you're going to have spa services or use the thermal suite, there's an extra charge for that. You're going to get your hair done, there's a charge for that. But so drinks, Wi-Fi, and your shore excursions are all going to be extra. But if you add the Have It All package to our low group rates, you're still saving money versus booking Have It All directly with Holland America. And this is what you get. You get 3 nights of specialty dining. So you can eat in that, the Pinnacle Grill and the Canaletto restaurant, I think it's called restaurant. You get the surf Wi-Fi package. You get 3 $100 shore excursion credits per person to use in 3 different ports. You can get the signature beverage package, which includes alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks, up to 15 per day with Have It All, beer, wine, mixed drinks, bottled water, specialty coffees, up to 15 per day. And then because I have group rates, my group rates have refundable deposits. They're like your low basic rates. You can choose to add the Have It All package, or you can just book a la carte with the standard group rate. So you have a choice as to how you book it. And I have a chart showing the pricing and the savings. So we have a low price guarantee. You will never, ever pay more through our agency than directly with the cruise line. And this is an example of the price that we have in our group rate. This is the current, here, I need to point over here. This is the price we have with our group rate. This is the current Have It All rate. And this is our group rate with Have It All added in. So you can see we are still lower. And then we are offering you a nice savings. This is price per person. Now you have to keep in mind that this is a 21-night cruise. So it's like 3 cruises all in a row. So the price point is a little bit more than maybe you're used to seeing for a 7-night cruise. You will get 5-star service from our agency, and of course you'll get the lower price than booking with Holland America Direct. And these are just examples. I have more categories available in my group, and Holland America will even let me swap out a category. So if there's a category that I don't have in my current allocation and it's something you want to book, I can do some swapping out. We also offer fare monitoring. So if Holland America has a promotion that ever would lower your price lower than what you're originally booked at, we get an alert in our system, and we will call you, let you know what the new deal is, and give you a chance to take it. And sometimes if it's a lower price and you don't lose any perks or anything, we'll just do it and say, hey, I lowered your price. So it doesn't happen too much when we start off with such low group rates, but occasionally it can, and you have a low price guarantee when you book with us. So the categories of cabin that we're holding. So this is your inside cabin, no exterior window, 145 square feet.
The 2 balcony things are.
This is the ocean view cabin on this ship. It can vary between 174 to 180 square feet, depending on where it's located on the ship. And again, you can add that Have It All. It's a $99 value per day. You can add it for $50 per person per day. This is the balcony cabin or veranda. And there's a wide range of size here. And the reason is that there are some accessible cabins that are larger, they're wider, they have a larger balcony, they have a deeper balcony, whatever. There's a few odds and end cabins that have a different configuration that are a little bit more square footage. And then if you want to look at something like a signature suite to give you a little bit more square footage, this is what the layout of the signature suite looks like on this ship.
That's a bigger balcony too.
Yeah, that includes a balcony, but yeah, it's a much bigger balcony because it's wider this way.
You're gonna be there 3 weeks. You might as well have
Then-
some place.
Then the Neptune suites. Now, the nice thing about the Neptune suites is they give you access to the Neptune lounge, the Neptune concierge. The concierge will host some cocktail parties and some more like that. So these are going to be the largest suites. They start at 500 square feet, and the pricing starts at $85.79. And I'll go to the next slide, and I'll just show you what I've got. Actually, that price is. I didn't correct that. My next slide, it does correct it. That's the price for the signature suite. The Neptune suite is a little bit more. And that's in my next slide. So I'm going to correct myself. I was doing some cutting and pasting, didn't catch that I'd made that error. So the Neptune suite, it does start at more. It's $13,379 per person.
Yeah, it is.
But the balconies, you can get an idea of where the pricing is. The inside cabins are good for people who really want to do something like this, but on a little more of a budget. Ocean view also is a little more budget friendly, but we are booked in a balcony. We really love having a balcony, a private veranda where you can go out, and when you're sailing through all that spectacular scenery, that is going to make it even extra special.
They seem better than the prices in the book.
Right. Next one. So special amenities just for our group. So whether you book Have It All or not, we are going to also add for our group one evening in the Canaletto restaurant. That's the Italian restaurant. And one evening in the Pinnacle Grill restaurant. So, these are the specialty restaurants that are different from the main dining room that have a little bit of a cover charge. So for our group, you'll get one night in each of these venues complimentary. So if you have it all, you get a total of 5 nights in the specialty dining. And you must be booked into our group to get this amenity. Additional information. So everybody always asks me, okay, where are we with COVID and cruising? So my husband and I have been on 10 cruises since August. We are confident that cruising is safe and healthy. Most ships are sailing with 100% or 95% of the folks vaccinated. But there is testing before you get on the ship. That's just the current protocol. Who knows? By next summer, we may be completely, everybody's just like, yeah, okay, it's over. So your deposit is fully refundable until 120 days. It's actually 120 days for a longer voyage like this, 120 days before departure. And Holland America offers a travel protection policy. It's their platinum plan that offers cancel for any reason with 90% cash back and on-trip emergency coverage. CruiseOne sells a plan that is 100% cash back, but it's not canceled for any reason. It's canceled for emergency. So we can compare prices if you're interested in booking and decide which plan is better suited for you. We're confident that cruising is a very safe way to cruise, or safe way to travel. Cruising has lower rates than many of the large cities that are having little spotty upticks. Masks are not required right now, except for in a couple of Alaska itineraries. We just got back from 2 cruises in Europe, and we did not have to wear masks at all, except for in some ports. Like Athens, we had to wear them while we were on the bus going on our tour, because public transportation, you still have to wear masks. Once we got off the bus and we're hiking up the Acropolis, we didn't have to wear masks. Iceland and Greenland and Norway pretty much have no COVID. We didn't even have to wear masks on the bus when we were in Norway in May. So very much opened up in those places. So a special offer for those of you who are attending this Zoom presentation. As a thank you, we're offering an extra onboard credit. So it's $50 for extra onboard credit for an interior, $75 for an ocean view, $100 for a veranda, and $150 for suites. And that's in addition to our discounted group rates and our 2 specialty dining options that we're doing for our group as well. You've got to book by July 10th to receive this special offer. So it's a time-sensitive offer. We do have a couple of other Explorers cruise on Holland America. Of course, they have cruises going every year to Alaska. So if you haven't been to Alaska, and it's something you want to do and you don't have the 21 days to do this, I can certainly book you on a cruise or cruise tour to Alaska. We also have one in July that is offered as a 7, 14-night or 21-day cruise, and it goes to the Midnight Sun and Norse Legends. It doesn't go to Svalbard. It's mostly Norway. And then also next summer we are offering the same cruise that we're getting ready to go on in August. It is we call it the Voyage of Vikings and Explorers, because you go from Boston round trip to Canada, Greenland, and Iceland. And we're getting ready to do that in August of this year. Very excited about that. So we hope that you will join us for this. We're very excited that so many of you came today in person, or if you're watching this recorded, we're so excited that you tuned in to watch it. We want you to join us. This is going to be one of the most amazing cruises. I'm finally going to see a polar bear and not at the zoo. We're escorting this cruise, so we'll be along to make sure that everything exceeds your expectation. And if you're ready to book, there's my phone number. That's the best way to get in touch with me. And I'll do a booking consultation with you. We'll talk about what cabin and category is going to be the best. We'll talk about any other additional questions that you have. And I'm glad to take care of you with that personalized service. So any additional questions or comments? I think I'm going to stop sharing the screen so I can see people that are live. That's all I see.
You might be muted too. So if you're muted, just you can hold the space bar down and talk. If you're, oh, and Amanda is here from Holland America. So if you have any questions for her, go ahead and ask away.
Yeah, I'm sorry I was late, everyone. I had to update my Zoom app. Didn't realize that was going to take forever, but I'm really excited to be here. Suzanne and Steve always do such a wonderful job with their groups. They have such an avid following, and we always love working with them. So this is such a great itinerary for you. We're really excited for you to get to see not only a wonderful itinerary with some unique and special ports, but also get to experience Holland America and some of those great unique changes that we've added to the Holland America experience, the food experience, the music experience, those excursions that we've set up. It really is set up to give you kind of that once in a lifetime experience, whether you want to do something a little more relaxing or something more active and explore more. You really have those choices. So we're really excited to offer this for you. I also want to say that the Have It All is such an incredible benefit to you. When you take a look at adding the drink package, adding the internet, adding all of those additions, it makes a huge difference. So definitely consider that Have It All package. Even if you don't go to maybe a higher cabin category either, think about talking to Suzanne about the Club Orange feature on board the ship also. That gives you some additional amenities. So think about that as well. So please let me know if you have any questions that I could answer for you specific Holland America. I'm happy to do that. And we're excited to get you on board.
Okay, I do have a question for you, actually. So I was looking for where the Club Orange is physically located on the ship. So it's a Zuiderdam, and I did not. It's not It's not obvious.
So the Club Orange dining room, is that what you're referring to?
Yes, yes.
Yes, so on the Zuiderdam, the Club Orange dining room is actually a section in the main dining room that's off
Okay.
to the side. And then it
Okay.
does give some additional extra benefits like priority disembarkation, embarkation. You get a nice little welcome drink. You get some of those little extra features that you would get, kind of that special attention that you would get in a suite, but you can add it in any cabin category that you book. So it's just a nice little option to have that extra attention, maybe not wait in line as long for certain things. So a great option to think about as well.
Yeah, we did Club Orange on our cruise in January. We really, really loved the experience. And so I'm glad you clarified, because I was like, I don't see a Club Orange on here. I don't know what it is. So,
Yeah.
so it's a section of the main dining room, but we really liked the Club Orange, and it made just the dining experience even that much better. But main dining on Holland is great, no matter what. And
Anywhere
all
you eat
meals
a
are
burger.
included. All
Mhm.
meals are included.
Even the burger place or the pizza on the
drive-in.
Lido, when they make your own individual pizza, man. I was just on there in May for Alaska, and I think I ate pizza 6 out of 7 days.
Well, the Asian like noodle and rice stir fry station was
In
another
the
one of my
main-
favorites. In the Lido Marketplace was one of my favorites, and the alla minute pastas are another favorite.
That key lime pie at the Pinnacle Grill. Oh man.
I didn't have it. It was good. I had berries. I don't
I
know what I was
know.
thinking.
When I saw that picture of your berries, I said, you know, Suzanne may have done that wrong. She may have missed out.
All right. Do we have any other questions?
I do. I have
Okay.
questions. What are the chances of seeing the Northern Lights on this cruise?
0.
Oh, it's gonna be daylight the entire day.
Because it's daylight the entire time.
Oh,
We're going to be in the midnight sun. So if you want to see Northern Lights, I can book you on a tour to Iceland or Finland in the middle of the winter, and you can wear your favorite parka and sit in a glass igloo, and you'll see the Northern Lights. But yeah, it's going to be daylight the entire time.
I would say if that is something that you want to really see, another option might be taking a look at some Alaska itineraries in September, because that's when it starts getting darker at the end of that summer season. That's their fall. So you do have some night hours, and you will have some chance to see the Northern Lights. So if that is something that you want to do, and you don't want to go in the dead of winter to some
Finland.
other locations, you can absolutely think about doing an Alaska in the fall, and that could give you some good
There's
opportunity.
and if they are visible, the captain will usually wake people up. He'll get on the speaker and say, if you want to see the Northern Lights, go out on your balcony or come out, so it might be 1 or 2 in the morning, but they will make that quick announcement sometimes.
They do it on the cruise tour portion also, so you can be signed up for a list. So if they do come out, they'll call you. Everyone comes out in their pajamas. It's a little pajama party, and everybody gets to see the Northern Lights. So we definitely take advantage of that whenever it happens.
But you do have a really good chance of seeing a polar bear on this cruise. So that's
I have
exciting.
one other question. When are we going to find out the optional tours that will be available on this cruise?
Yeah, Steve,
They're
went
already. I mean, we've been going through it, trying to decide what we want to go do. So a lot of the tours are already available. They may get tweaked or a few more added, but there's a lot of choice out there already.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and those you can find those once you're booked with your refundable deposit. You can go in and look in your cruise planner and look at the shore excursions that are offered. And actually, worst case scenario, you don't find any tours you want to do, you can cancel and get a full refund. But they are visible through your cruise planner on the Holland America website once you have a booking.
Yeah, they're available booking now.
I have a question too. If we want to book something on our own through, somebody at the area that we're visiting, can we do that?
Oh, yes, absolutely, because Iceland and Norway have no COVID like bubble tour restrictions. Now, Svalbard and those places, that really remote area, I don't know that there are going to be many independent tour
Sure.
companies, but I have third-party tours that I sell through CruiseOne that are vetted, and they have to meet certain criteria. So I always refer my people, look at what Holland America offers. You're getting those shore excursion credits. So those obviously can only be used through Holland America.
If you have it
But
all.
but once, if you have it all, but once you've spent those and you're trying to figure out, hey, I want to do a small group tour of the Golden Circle. I don't want to be on a bus with this many people. So you can even book a private tour through some of my third-party providers. So yes, that's
Okay.
definitely something that that not only can you do, but I can help you with.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm a single. What's the deal with singles? Anything available or?
Amanda, so Holland America, it's not always 200% with Holland America. I would have to price it out for you as a single. Lots of
Okay.
times what my single travelers will do, and Holland does have rates, but they're not half price of a full, but they do have single rate. But
Yeah.
lots of times my single travels, I will put them in an inside cabin, because they're not going to spend much time in an inside cabin. That helps them save money. And then when they're
Right.
with a group, they've got friends to hang out with, people to meet. The
Mhm.
other option you can do is, once you're booked, you can look for a friend or a coworker or a family member, a distant cousin, somebody who's always wanted to go see polar bears, and
Yeah.
you can add them to the reservation at any time, pretty much up
Okay.
until final payment.
Okay.
Another
great.
thing I wanted to mention also is that on our new Stantendam and our Koningsdam, we do also offer some single ocean view staterooms as well. So if this isn't the itinerary that you are looking at, but you are thinking about going, we do have some single staterooms. So that might be a nice option as well to keep in mind.
Yeah, for some other cruises, I've had booked people into the single ones on the Koningsdam for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
excellent. Okay. Yeah.
sometimes when we have a group going, someone will book a cabin as a single, we'll get another request from a single, and the two agree to bunk together. And so when we have a group
Yeah.
like that, there's some options for that.
Yeah.
And so we could try, if we had another male that was interested in sharing a room. The good thing is that the beds split apart, so you're not. So you would each have your own twin bed if
Yeah.
it was that situation.
Yeah.
But I do get that question: do these single cabins? And there's workarounds for it.
Okay. I'd be interested in something maybe in August of this year to Alaska, if there's anything, but
Yeah. Well, Robin, do you have my number? It was
I-
on my last slide.
yes, I'll give you a
Or
call.
the email that you got, yeah. We'll have a thank you for joining to email out to you. They'll have all the contact.
Yeah.
information.
So just give me a call, and I can help you find something for Alaska
Okay.
for this year. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yep.
Yeah, there's still availability, so that's the good news.
Fantastic. Okay.
Do we
Thanks.
have any other questions?
Thanks, appreciate it.
We'll be in touch.
Okay, great. It was great meeting you all. I want to thank you so much for coming. I hope you'll join us and be part of our group. It's going to be just the trip of a lifetime. We are so excited about it.
Can
So
I ask
again,
you one thing? Do we have to be
Sure.
together all the time, or
no,
No, 'cause it
no.
this group thing?
Yeah, I always say you can do as much or as little with the group as you want. I mean,
Okay.
we'll probably have like one place there. Let Steve and I go for happy hour every day, and you can come. No, we don't have to.
You hear
I
that,
told-
Judy?
Yeah, and we can, we can book you on opposite ends of the ships if you don't want to be anywhere.
No, well, we
Okay.
travel with our friends, the Townsends, and we
Uh-huh.
see each other once a year, so it isn't like we want to be with tons of people.
Yeah,
like
so
to be together.
I'd obviously set you up for a table for 4 in the main dining room.
This will be
So you
trip
could-
42.
You'd be just the 4 of you together, and you can enjoy that time. But no.
Group just means that we've taken out a block of cabins, or
Okay, I
and we
understand.
can group into those kind of rates. So
Okay, thanks.
All
I'm gonna
right.
stop recording. If anybody has any questions, we can keep talking.